specialist at an elementary school. And I started with the company over a product. And it was a product at the time that I was having really bad psoriasis, doing light therapy, and a friend had mentioned it to me. And I turned it over to another friend who's a pharmacist, and he had said his whole family was on it. So of course I was psyched, you know, like my pharmacist friend loved it too. And then eventually I realized I could buy it on the internet. So started doing that. And then, you know, through research, I learned that I could actually like invest and own a piece of this online mall. So I did tons of research, just where, you know, the conversations were happening as an educator, where I was hearing more and more of, you know, these teachers who 45 years working, and, you know, Rhode Island had just changed the retirement system to 30%. So when you go from making a full salary and then your pay gets reduced to 30%, that's a big change in living. You know, that's just a huge change. So I had that in the back of my head. And then I have three kids who I have to or would love to help through college. But in doing that, I wanted to stay with the lifestyle we have. We love to travel. We love to, you know, vacation, eat out, drink wine. So, you know, just looking at the different options out there. And when I heard that, you know, this online mall, this website, people could invest in. And in doing that, you know, it would be an investment for my future. It was based upon things I was doing anyway, which really for me was a trigger. And, you know, it really impressed me, where I did not have time to do parties, and some of the things I looked at was a party thing. And they're fun to go to, but with 3 kids and 6 sports schedules, it just wasn't going to fit in my lifestyle. So the more I researched Better Business Bureau and such, I realized that, you know, 1, I already loved what I was seeing. 2, more and more people were shopping online. That was one of the trends, stores closing, more online space, and I could own a piece of it. And in doing that, as I said, you know, my everyday buying, my everyday purchases would now pay me back. So it's been 5 years for me. And in that 5 years, it's just continued to grow and grow. And it really has been a gift to my family. It really has been. Heidi, how about you?
Yeah, so very, very similar, I think, to you ladies. My education and background is in mental health. So I am a licensed mental health therapist, also a mom of 3, so can relate to the really busy schedules at home and that work-life balance pull all the time. And so about 4 years ago, I was starting to plan my next move, and was pretty upfront with my employer, you know, that I was looking for something else, looking to move on. My former boss, who was a vice president at our company, he said, you know, I have a business platform that I think that you should evaluate. I'm actually currently evaluating it for myself. And what I loved about it was I was already an online shopper. But I also saw the opportunity to be able to expand my professional background through this business as well. So to me, it was a no-brainer. And we're going to get into a little bit more details with some of that. But, you know, anybody who was like me, I was commuting more than 2 hours a day. Just that was time spent in the car. I wanted to repurpose that time and be able to build something that could be a legacy that I would then leave for my family. So I had that capability here. Huge, huge.
Yeah, that's great. One of the things too that I'd like to touch on is, with my background in, you know, criminal investigator, I really wanted to vet the company and what it is, what am I doing and what am I investing in? And when I look at it, you know, I looked at it is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. So we got some accreditation going on there, which was very important. The other thing that was important, and I discussed with my husband, was that here is a company that is a product brokerage company, an internet marketing company, and they are partnered with the biggest retailers in the world. So you think about all of the legal departments behind these big retailers, right? They would never let their company, their Home Depot, their Walmart, their Staples, ever collaborate and partner with a company that was kind of like shady or not even mature enough. So you look at this company with 28 years of growth, double-digit growth at 28 years. Now, when I started, it was 25 years. So, and it's still continuing to rise. And when you look at companies to invest in, and I look at investing, the first thing I think of is, oh, it's a lot of money. No, this is you're investing in your spending. You are getting a return on everything you buy that you normally buy, that you need, that has the same result. So that's what investment means. You're getting a return on your investment for your shampoo. So I looked at that, and I looked at the pay structure, and I wasn't like really familiar with multi-level marketing, but I have a lot of friends who are, and they do, you know, they love their products, and it's great. There's just a humongous compensation difference. The compensation structures are incredibly different. And Heidi, you really explain it well, but I won't get into too much of that. But you know,
Great.
a lot of times you'll see people that are really staying in these companies because they love the products and they want to get them at cost. But you won't see too many breaking through the ceiling and making a lot of money, a lot of sustainable ongoing income. Otherwise, we'd all be the Avon lady, or we'd all still be selling Tupperware, or, you know, that's just what happens. So when I saw this and the income opportunity and the 100% shared credit for everybody linked to you and that leverage, it was pretty remarkable. I'd never seen anything like that. But
Robin, I have to say, I know I agree with you so much. You know, the pay is so different, and it's so great to be like leveraged and really lock arms with other households and other spenders, you know, and that is fabulous. I do love that. You know, and looking at the time, I'm wondering, and maybe you can start, like how we are embedding this in our everyday life, you know, where you touched upon so many points where, you know, you with you retired, you know, in the criminal world, you know, you have such a great background, and we have Heidi. Maybe we can just go around really quickly and just talk about, you know, how we're embedding it. You know, I know for me, I'm shopping anyway, from my hand soaps to my dish soap to my laundry detergent to my, I was talking about no frizz, you know, my no frizz oils. I'm buying these things anyway. So it's just redirecting it and getting paid to do it. And financially, it's not costing me anything because it's things I would be spending money on anyway. And I always loved that too. And as far as time and sharing, like, you know, we are here tonight, it's taking unproductive time where instead of just sitting in front of the TV all the time, it's taken some of that time to share with other people. How about you ladies? Heidi?
I just want to clarify. So because you guys keep talking about like these things that you're buying for your house and how you're getting something back, right? And it's an investment, it's something you're building. And I thought it could be really helpful for our guests to explain how we're building this return, this equity, this income off of our everyday spending, right? So a shopping annuity, if you're familiar with a traditional annuity, it's very similar but different, and there's a really important difference here. Mm-hmm. So to grasp the concept, I often use the analogy of how you use your credit card, and the credit card company will reward you with a percentage back every time you swipe that card, right? So every transaction you're getting 1, 2, 3%, something like that, right? Well, a similar transaction occurs with our business through the shopping annuity, except that return on every transaction is paid by wholesalers and franchise stores. Familiar stores that you're already shopping at, your Home Depot, your Walmart, you know, grocery stores, your Nike, whatever. And that return that you're earning is then compounded in an annuity-like fund that pays the business owner on a weekly basis, right? And there's, you know, obviously some more details to it, but the really important piece here is to think about, even in this last, you know, how long have we been quarantined for? Like 4 or 5 weeks, right? Mm-hmm. How many online transactions have you made in your household? And now just imagine if you were able to get a percentage back, right? Even, you know, we're laughing and joking on social media about how much we're eating and drinking right now. Well, imagine buying your wine that you may or may not be drinking, you know, totally fine during this interview. Imagine getting 11% back on that purchase, right? Because you were going to buy it anyway. So it's just shifting the mindset and looking at all of these common household items that you've heard Robin and Shelley allude to, your toothpaste, your deodorant, your mouthwash and shampoo and conditioner, right? You're all nodding your heads because you're all using these things, right? And so now it's just learning how to get a return on those purchases, and a return that's going to compound and create a leveraged stream of income.
Love
That's
to
great.
call that recycled spending.
Yeah, you can look at like a bottle of shampoo. You know, if you use a typical bottle of shampoo, whatever you want to use. Now, when you own your own shop site, you can choose if you want to buy the shampoo that has an 80% return, a 2% return, or if you want to just go and wherever you used to go, but not going through your site and getting a 0% return. So you're looking at that return. You're looking at those points. You want to keep hoarding. I say hoarding those points because that's where it's going to turn into an income very fast. That's going to be your weekly check, your monthly checks. And
ladies, do you want to go around and share some of our favorite stores, you know, like some of our favorite partner stores before, you know, we close out and see if there's any questions?
Yeah, I was just thinking, Robin has like a million stores. She's always featuring like a new store that I've never heard of.
I know. There are so many really great online stores, and a lot of them are also small owners. There's small businesses that have a huge online presence. I love Food 52. I love Wayfair. I love a lot of home decorating. I love Home Goods. They're a partner. So I love all of that. But then when it comes to regular, you know, Walgreens, I just shop everywhere I would normally kind of shop anyway, you know, and I go there.
For me,
Noble, just everywhere.
For me, it's been so great with even travel, with Travelocity and
Yes.
the Hotwires and Expedia. And then with the kids, I think we have 6 sports schedules, you know, now we're home, but Under Armour, you know, is 11% back. You know, what else? Nike Outlet is there, the Gap brand. You know, there's Groupon. There's so many gift card stores even. And Heidi, I know for you, you have business. You could probably even speak for that.
I do. First, I just was thinking of something. We have an awesome feature with Google. We have a partnership. And sometimes, you know, I don't even know where I want to find a particular store, but by a quick Google search, all of the stores that are connected to our business, they are actually highlighted with a banner. So when I was looking to buy tickets down in Florida for a family trip, Shelley made me think of this. I wanted to get a discount to go to some of the Disney parks. And so when I Googled it, I found bestoforlando.com that was then giving me like an 8% return and a discount on the passes. So it was like double dipping, you know, in terms of the savings. But yes, I am also a traditional business owner, and I do feel like anybody who owns their own business, there is just an even more extraordinary opportunity to build this business, because not only are you redirecting your household expenses, but then all of your business expenses as well. So when you think about the supplies, the overhead that it takes to run your business, we have connections to all of, you know, the typical, you know, Staples and Office Depot and, you know, stores like that. And then business travel, like Shelley mentioned. I mean, I redirect all of my conference travel that way and typically get hotels cheaper than the group rate that the conference is offering, which I think is very important to highlight. And then, you know, we have other luxuries like being able to send people flowers and, you know, a lot of gift sites, Groupon and things like that, that are also affiliated with us, where we're able to continue feeding that shopping annuity. So.
Yeah, there's so many extra perks too as a shop owner. You know, you're having products that you want to buy. Say if I want to go to Sephora, but I can also buy products that are just manufactured for us. So there's with a much higher margin. So, I mean, like I said, when you're shopping, you have so many options for earning. And then you're going to save so much more money too, because if there's so much technology embedded into the system, into the shop site, you have multiple sites that you actually get to own, but there's that technology embedded that's going to tell you what the deals are, what are the coupon codes. You know, you don't have to Google the codes anymore. We have a technology that's already there for us, and we get to share it with other people. So It's
Yeah, I love that Shop Buddy feature too. That's awesome. And for anyone here that doesn't have, isn't a customer on the website already, definitely reach out to the person who invited you, so that way you can be connected with the Shop Buddy apps as well. Should we just see if there's any questions here in the chat?
Yeah, I think if anybody has any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat box now. I see Natasha had highlighted that we have a Shop Local program, which is so important to highlight. I have to say, we set this interview up knowing that it was going to be the first episode, because as you can see, there are so many small little nuggets that we've dropped in this interview that could be its own episode. And I'm thinking that when you mentioned Shop Local. And yes, Cynthia, we did record part of this interview. My bad, didn't remember until it had already started. But we will get that up on YouTube so you guys can share the link for people who maybe couldn't get on. Let's see.
Heidi, I see a question about how we all got started and why we chose this platform. I just saw that in the chat as well. For me, as I mentioned, being an educator, I saw, well, there was a few things happening. One, the retirement system, you know, where we work so hard for so many years. And when we retire and we assume like the golden years, essentially, so many of us are financially struggling. So many of us need to even get another job, you know, and I wanted to stop planning now. So God willing, you know, I could retire before the typical age of 65 and have something in place to allow my family, my husband and I, to travel, but also take our kids with us. And with that being said too, as I mentioned earlier, just my kids' college. With 3 kids, I have, you know, they're 15, 13, and 9 now. You know, Ethan is already in high school. College is not even 4 years away. So it's something in place that would be giving me back an extra income and a meaningful income, which is huge. You know, meaningful income that could come back to us recycled in our pockets, not taking me out of the house more, but giving me more time through online shopping, having stuff delivered right to me. And even when I need things that day, many times I order right online and do store pickup. So I'm still getting the benefit of adding to that shopping annuity, which again, that shopping annuity is just simply taking what you do and converting it to an investment. So instead of taking the fixed income and putting it in a bank, money that your income that you're earning, your hours that you're using for pay, what I'm doing and what these other ladies here are doing with me is that we're just taking our spending, and our fixed monthly payment is our groceries and those items that we would typically be using anyway. And that is what funds our annuity. How about you, Heidi, Robin? How did you guys, again, you know, what made you get started with this?
I think initially for me, it was, I have to tell you, I am one of those people that I've always done pretty well, you know, knock on wood, professionally. I've been a hard worker, and so I would always get, you know, those positive reviews at work, except that the last place I worked at, with the way the economy was going, even though you got a positive review, you didn't get an increase in your pay. And so we went over 3 years without getting a pay increase, but the economy, the cost of living, continued to go up. And so when I saw this business platform, I was, you know, looking to make a little extra money, but one thing that stood out to me was that my income that I was building in this business was no longer contingent upon anybody else's efforts or work. It was really about what I wanted to put into building this business. And so that was something very different than other business platforms or opportunities that had been shared with me. And so, you know, that was the first reason why. And then I think over time now, it's changed, you know, why I've continued to build and grow this business has, you know, changed over time as my family's needs have changed over time.
Yeah, I wanted originally something very light. I wanted to be able to make more money. I like the opportunity of making more money. And I love the fact that I didn't have to really learn too much. I already shopped online. So I knew that part. And now, like Heidi said, as life goes on, we have different needs and different whys. And now I want my children's education paid by my shopping annuity. And at first we wanted just the car payment. That was easy. Now I'm going up and up and up. Okay, car payments made, maybe my mortgage next. Now with the education is going to, because this is ongoing, and by doing what you're already doing. And I know that there are a lot of people out there, especially new moms, that don't want to go back into the workforce. If I had this when I was on my maternity leave, I would have gone full bore, because you can stay home with your baby. You can start generating another income. You can just start learning to buy from yourself. Now you have all of your partnered stores that you can buy everything for your baby. And then even stay at home dad. So it's just it can be a supplementary income, or it can be a full-time income. And it can probably be very substantial. And there's so many other people doing it. That's why I'm like, okay, I'm not that one to say, oh, I'm going to be the first to do it. No, I'm the one that, okay, they're 500 doing it, because if they're 500 doing it, I can do it too. So that's.
You know what, that's one of the things I love, Robin, so much. Like, neither of us, I've met you through our company, and just going to just training events, that we choose to go to. But I have to say, you're in it for yourself and for your own personal goals, whether it's for that car payment or whether it's for long-term, being able to retire earlier or having that retire fund for the future. But you are never, ever, ever by yourself.
No.
Ever by yourself. So, everyone has their personal goals, but I've never been part of a company that lifts each other up and is there to lock arms and support you, to help anybody reach whatever goal they want. Like, I've never been part of something like that. And for me, like, that's one of the best parts of it. Like, not only am I earning from my shopping, and I laugh because it still seems kind of crazy, like it's almost too good to be true, but it's real, it's happening. I started wanting just $300 a month, and it's surpassed that. And I still am in shock sometimes, and I feel like I have to pinch myself. But it's one of those things, the friendships, the family, the learning that I've got from this company. I always tell people the only risk is if you don't do anything, because it's based on your spending, one. And number two, it's even willable 2 generations. And to me, that was huge, being such a family person, to be able to will it to my children. And then if it continues to fruitate, like owning a piece of the internet, owning a piece of an online mall, that in itself, leaves a legacy. And to me, that was empowering as well. Heidi, Robin, if you want to speak to that, what else you've gotten from our company?
It's important too when you have hope. Some people today are stuck. They don't know if their businesses are going to be able to open again. They don't know if they're going to have their job again or the same salary. But when you have something as a safety net that provides hope, I can still build this if I want to, that's pretty significant, emotionally.
And it's in your own hours too. It's when you want to shop, when you don't want to shop, when you want to share with people, when you don't. It's all within your capacity. Heidi?
Yeah, no, you guys summed it up. You did a great job. Robin brought up, being home with a baby and being able to build this business. And I saw someone had a question about what kinds of baby stores do we have? And we have them all. I mean, I noticed a baby shower I was invited to recently had a registry at Bye Bye Baby. They're connected to us, as well as Target. There's baby baskets, and I think it's Ergo Baby or something. Those are like the new slings. I'm 7 years old.
There's a lot of baby shops. We'll provide a list after this. I will. I love doing
Baby Earth. There's some organic baby, like boutique shops that are connected to us. So, and what's fabulous is whenever you're looking for a type of store, we have so many different search engines to be able to narrow down to find what you're looking for. So great question out there. I think we've gotten through all of the other questions that people wrote in. And of course, many of you know how to get in touch with us, so you could always shoot us a question after the fact. But we've got a follow-up event too that we wanted to invite you guys to. Yeah. So Monday night, we have another virtual event, and this is strictly on the actual structure and business building behind our shop.com businesses. So this is where we have some visuals we want to show you. It's probably a little bit more formal than this kind of fun interview series. But that is going to be at 7:30 on Monday evening, and we'll have a link for people to be able to register. And so if you're interested in attending, because I do believe we had to limit the capacity for that event, you'll want to follow up with whomever invited you on to this interview this evening so that we can make sure that you get registered and reserve a spot. So I hope to see a lot of you guys on that overview on Monday night.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all for joining us tonight. You know, I hope you got something out of this. Definitely message us any questions you may have, and join us Monday if you're curious at all about, you know, where this is going with trends and how to get paid on your spending to learn more about that.
So
thank you everyone for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.